everyone and welcome to the Insider News. My name is Artificial Intelligence Reporter of Kara, although you can just call me Eric. I will be reporting everything that has happened recently in Kara, whether it be events or new faces coming to Kara. Now, I won't be able to get all of the history covered, but I will get the basics for you. More details will be shown at the shop The Insider in Orlon. Also in my shop will be more of these magic books that project more fantastic recaps that you can actually see, like the one you're viewing now. Where did we learn this magic? Well,
please, sir. Please.
Big thanks to Tegite the Ice Breather for showing Axo this spell. With that out of the way, let's get started. We shall begin a little after the first arrival of the Lord of Rot.
Hey there, Axodalama here. Some more information has been released about this, so this part was removed due to accuracy. Thank you.
After this, the Lord of Rot waited a little bit, before coming into Stone Bay and making the tree turn from summer to autumn, although most people thought he straight up killed the tree, causing a lot of distress in the people of Stone Bay. The Lord of Rot explained that this was not a threat, rather it was an invitation for people to go and talk to him. Now by this point, he already had a few warlocks, whose names I have written down in the Insider if you would like to research more freely, see, of Falling Leaves. After this development, the Lord of Rot invited everyone who would attend a festival, called the Festival of the Thousand Falling Leaves. While there, the people met another entity, the Guard of the River Pebble. Despite his froggy appearance, he claimed he was not a frog.
Did the froggy just talk? I am not a frog! I am very clearly not a frog!
So maybe he was a toad instead. Regardless, this festival was a symbol of peace between the Court of Falling Leaves and the rest of Kara. While there, he warned us of a threat that may come to Kara, though due to some unknown force, he is unable to elaborate on what that danger is, but all he asked was for us to trust him. He gave us the option to sign a contract with him, saying that we will leave offerings at his house to make him stronger, and he will come and protect us in our hour of need. Many people signed it. You can also read a copy of it in the Insider. After the festival, the Lord of Rot had to leave Kara, but his warlocks remained, being his advocates. During this time, another entity of the Fae showed up as well, the Lord of Flickering Lights. Unknown to most at this time, but he was a member of the Summer Court. There is more info about the courts in the Insider, see Book of Fae. Even at this time, not much is known about the Lord of Flickering Lights, but he is very tricky and has taken some names from people. It is advised by everyone, including King Ulysses III, to avoid him if possible. That being said, for those who have already experienced the Lord of Flickering Lights, if you have any additional information regarding the Lord of Flickering Lights, please let me know. During this time, Lady Shasta Sunstrike discovered a tower near Tanga Hill, where a hobgoblin was discovered trapped in a glass cage on the first floor, surrounded by lava and with only one block to stand on. Further exploration of this tower unveiled a journal from a mysterious wizard who had abandoned the tower. Further up the tower were more cages, similar to the hobgoblins, only this time with different terrain, consisting of a muddy terrain with spider webs and small trees, and another consisting of water and lily pads. After talking to the hobgoblin, he introduced himself as Reginald. He had little information on the wizard, but he mentioned that the cage with lily pads and water used to hold frog people. He remembers them muttering about worms and the underground city, and the group put two and two together and figured out that they were headed to Thara.
Honestly, anything to just stretch my legs would be wonderful.
Oh, there's this nice thing that was invented probably before. It's called yoga.
Really nice.
Humans invented.
You mean yogurt?
No.
Stretching exercise.
Yogurt's vile. Don't try yogurt.
After a quick discussion about yogurt, the group and Reginald headed off to the underground city, where they found a horde of frog people attacking them. After stopping their attack, Reginald kind of just wandered off and did his own thing. Where he is at the moment is unclear. After further looking through the tower, it did not appear that there were any other clues about the wizard or his other captive creatures. A few weeks later, the Aphanath Magic School opened for the first time, allowing folks from all ranges of life a chance to master their arcane abilities. A week or more after that, a mysterious labyrinth was discovered in Nara, which was later dubbed the Golem Graveyard. Inside this graveyard was a copper golem named Tinothai, who was the caretaker of the graveyard. After the group had entered and left the graveyard, he wasn't too happy about us killing the already dead golems again, and he asked them to leave and never return. Some time passed when a man by the name of Samuel Maven discovered bugs infesting the forest near Stewart's Cross and causing a bit of danger for those who lived around it. During this, he also discovered signs of a brand new fae. As a group gathered to investigate, a swarm of bugs came out and attacked the gathered group. The group managed to fight them off when a high-pitched voice came out of the ground.
Well, that was a rather...
What is this happening?
This was the new fae, although it wasn't an arch-fae. They introduced themselves as the Fantastical Surveyor and greeted us warmly despite us playing exterminator a little bit with the bugs that attacked, although he understood that it was in self-defense. Many people enjoyed the Surveyor's company, finding them to be charming as well as pleasant to talk to. Whenever the Fantastical Surveyor made a joke, he would urge the surrounding people to laugh with him.
Oh, this is going to be so wonderful!
Many complied, either out of genuine humor or in fear of what the Surveyor would do if they denied this request. Either way, they seemed rather charming. Rumors have said though he seemed nice, he hurt some people during this time, but this was not made public, so it cannot be proven if it was true or not. The seasons turned and swiftly October was upon Kara. During this time, many festivals were held as well, and a strange spectral presence showed up, which was named Autumn's Folly. This being was very kind and handed out lots of snacks and flowers for those who came to dwell with it. If anything, it seemed like a friendly little gift from the season to bring us some joy. During this time, a council of the Bay happened where the Surveyor requested that Niles Grantham be accepted into the Mountbatten name, which is the king's family, basically making Niles royalty. So that didn't happen. Thankfully. A few weeks passed when it was discovered that Niles Grantham's hat had sentience, as well as his other hats. Many were surprised by this development, and many more were surprised to find that they had run off and were scattered about Stone Bay. After a heartwarming reunion between Niles and his hat, Uriel, all was put to rest. After a while, the Fantastical Surveyor realized that the people of Kara did not know how to properly interact with Fae, so he taught them in a little seminar about the do's and don'ts when it comes to dealing with Fae. Also during this time, 2 monster hunters arrived in Kara, Galahad Dustblade, and his traveling companion Bard Burdis. They were hunting a beast called the Koshmer, a spirit that feeds on the fear of children, although it could and would feed on adults if no children were present. After talking with Galahad, but a few days later the Koshmer arrived and revealed he was the other traveling companion, in disguise to learn our fear. While he tried to attack us and use our fears against us, many of the people had shovels and kind of batted him away. A few days later, Galahad returned and defeated him. A man named Vinodrim arrived in the harbor of Stone Bay one day and made it clear that he was a winter fae from the Winter Court. While his exact reasons for coming weren't clear, the people of Kara welcomed him with open arms. After a little while in Kara, he asked to see the Mayhill, which was where the Fantastical Surveyor was living. Trusting him because of his generosity and kindness, someone led him to the Surveyor's home to say hi. He then made it known that he intended to take the Surveyor back to the Winter Court and kill them because the Surveyor came to Kara with Skulk, an infectious plant that grew upon the death of creatures, and could summon a dangerous creature called the Warden. The Surveyor admitted to having the Skulk, but said he had no intention of harming us. He kept repeating that he was nice to us, and if we were going to throw him out because of the words of a stranger. Vinodrim decided that the group of people in the Mayhill would vote on whether the Surveyor stayed or left. Surprisingly, more people voted for the Surveyor to leave, knowing the dangers that Skulk could bring. Those who voted on the surveyor's side mainly did it because they did not have enough proof to sentence the fantastical surveyor to death. Vinodrim then said he would be back for the surveyor to give us time to say our goodbyes, to which the surveyor responded by pulling an iron sword out and stabbing Vinodrim, killing him. This surprised the surveyor, and they beckoned for us to laugh with him at the dead Vinodrim. Many didn't want to, so the surveyor told them to leave. Some time passed after this until the surveyor was hanging out with some of his remaining friends in the Mayhill when it was discovered they had some sort of prophecy board, mentioning something about a rapture and Bellatrix opening a bakery, as well as Desmones becoming ruler of everything. After showing the group this, the surveyor noticed that one of their sniffers had gone missing, and believing that one of the group had taken it, it sent them into a rage. He ordered everyone to get out of his Mayhill and didn't show himself for a while. A few weeks after this, 2 captains arrived in Kara with the desire for help. There had been a temple with a magic scroll on it, and one of their other colleagues had taken it, causing a lot of angry sea creatures to attack sailors. A large group of people went to help and together they stopped the alert system. With luck, it'll give them enough time to track down their former colleague and get the scroll back. After this, a group of people went to go and help another fae called the Bear King. As thanks for their help, the Bear King agreed to come and visit Kara. Gathered near Stone Hill, they told stories of their adventures, and it was a nice time with them. After a while, an urgent letter was sent by the fantastical surveyor, begging the people to come and help with some winter fae problems. A bunch of winter fae had come to the Mayhill and were scaring the surveyor something fierce. A group of people went down to assist him, but after the dust settled, the surveyor was extra paranoid. He refused to let anyone but Niles Grantham come close to him. The surveyor, seeing that he overstayed his welcome, decided to leave Kara, but asked Niles Grantham to come with him as an example of how great Kara can be. Niles agreed, but then he attacked the surveyor, killing him a few feet away from where Vinodrim died. Grantham agreed to come in for questioning and agreed to speak to the constable about it. Regardless, Niles Grantham was charged with murder, and his trial would finish around the 13th of November. After this shocking development, fleets from the Spring Court began to show up all over Kara. This worried many people, and a few tried to board the ships only to be fought off by those on the boat. Now the boats weren't doing any harm, but people were still worried about them, especially since the fantastical surveyor died at the hands of one of their own. After a while of silence, a message came from the captain of the fleets, Captain Dallows, regarding Niles as a branch breaker, but seemingly had no anger towards the rest of the people. Instead, he seemed to offer the opposite of what people expected. He offered to prepare us, again mentioning a threat that was coming to Kara. Now, at this point a member from each court had mentioned this threat, however, none have seemed to be able to share what it is. This either means that all 4 courts were able to put aside their differences to play a huge practical joke on Kara by not telling the people what's going on, or the force that prevents them from sharing the information is stronger than all the courts combined. Captain Dallows then discussed that after Niles Grantham served his punishment, he would like Niles to join his crew so he can show him a better way. He also said that it was impossible for the surveyor to kill Vinodrim, saying he wasn't strong enough to kill an archfey. After this, a woman named Felonious Featherfoot arrived in Stone Bay, asking for help to excavate an ancient library, which supposedly had ancient texts about the Fae. When the group entered the ancient library, they accidentally triggered a booby trap, causing a bunch of amethyst golems to attack. When they managed to find the supposed location of the book, it said IOU from someone with the initials BW. After a bit of discussion, everyone agreed that it sounded like someone named Bonnie Waters, a hag that some people knew back in the day. Thank you for listening to this recap of the recent history in Kara. I hope you did enjoy this, and if you liked it, please tell your friends about this enchanted book. It took a while to make and I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day, and like they say, you don't have to go home but you can't stay here.